Wealthmanagement.com and WMRE presents Success Zone, a podcast dedicated to bringing the entire spectrum of financial advisors, wealth planners, and commercial real estate investors and innovators together. Through these episodes, you will experience sweeping insights beyond market headlines to help listeners become more savvy about the industry, transform their advisory or real estate practice, enhance their marketing skills, and take their business to the next level. Listen in for a wealth of information that includes remarkable success stories and expert advice from the industry's key players.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Success Zone from Wealthmanagement.com and WMRE. Today, our guest is Martha Hart from Protective Life, and this episode of Success Zone is being brought to you by Protective Life. Martha, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive right into this. All right, I've got a bunch of tough questions for you. You ready?
Good. I'll try to answer them then.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Martha, recent proposed legislation has included some key tax law changes that could affect retirement and estate planning. What can advisors do to get ahead of these kinds of potential but often unpredictable changes to the tax rules?
Well, it certainly is challenging to keep up with known changes, let alone follow the bouncing ball of potential changes.
Mm-hmm.
And, with that, I'd say it's hard to get ahead of it all, as you asked. I would say getting ahead is really keeping up with each individual client's tax planning needs. Advisors need to stay up to date with legislation proposed and passed so that they can stay aware of tax strategies and solutions to recommend to their clients. It's important, I think, that advisors have a plan to minimize the need to be reactive where, emotions can sometimes take over.
So, Martha, why is tax planning becoming such an important part of an advisor's value proposition then?
Similar to what we just discussed, with more than just a hint of tax changes in the air, and given the competitive landscape where clients have a lot of choice, regarding where they do their financial planning. If you're not talking to your clients about taxes, someone else might be, right? And you want your clients to see you as the knowledgeable person about all of their retirement and financial planning needs, including the impact of taxes. I also think, in addition to understanding these tax implications, that unless you are a tax professional yourself as an advisor, an added part of your value proposition may be to have a network of tax professionals that you might partner with or refer a client to. That way, you and that tax professional are kind of seen as like a team of professionals guiding the client, which just strengthens your value proposition.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds spot on. And so now I'm going to ask you this. What are some of the challenges advisors face in terms of implementing effective tax strategies, especially in these uncertain times?
Knowing the unknown, right? That is our challenge. Knowing where things are going and how to plan against potential changes is very, very challenging. We think changes are coming, but we aren't entirely sure what is changing. So it's kind of figuring out what to implement today and what to implement tomorrow and what planning can be done to weather all types of changes. I think of retirement planning in general as trying to plan against the unpredictable with the knowledge and tools that we have today. One example would be a certain worry for clients all the time is how long are we going to live? So advisors might consider products like annuities with GLWBs that can provide a predictable source of income, regardless of how long the client or the client's spouse might live. And that kind of manages some of the unpredictability of retirement planning. Similarly, with regard to taxes, we don't know what the tax environment will be when a client retires. So we have to look at the current tax landscape and make decisions with today's knowledge. So, for example, in a down market, you might consider doing some tax loss selling for a client. Or again, thinking about annuities, maybe we take some of a client's longer term non-qualified money and use an annuity so you can enjoy the benefits of tax deferred growth. Over a longer period of time, there's likely to be multiple tax changes, and the tax deferred growth in an annuity would be kind of beneficial regardless of all the tax changes that might occur.
So what are the critical elements of an advisor's tax management tool?
Well, I think there's probably a lot of tools that need to be in that tax management toolkit, and I could categorize them probably under two categories: is knowing what's available to you and knowing who's out there to help you. So knowing what's available to us, what are the tax efficient solutions that are out there? Certain mutual fund categories would be tax efficient, some ETFs, certainly low cost. We talked about tax loss harvesting a little bit already, and using, again, tax favored products like annuities or even life insurance, right, which can be a great planning tool for taxes when it comes to estate planning. The second category of knowing who's there to help you, having dedicated specialists in your practice and can help you stay up to date on changes and solutions can certainly let clients plan more confidently. And I think those specialists, again, we talked about having a team of tax professionals in your community that you might want to refer people to or partner with. I also think that it's important to take advantage of trusted wholesalers from companies that are a partner in your practice. Mutual fund companies and insurance companies often offer, research and educational materials that can be useful for both clients and advisors. And those trusted wholesalers, they can help take the burden off of advisors to try to find what tools are available. And they'll bring tools and materials from all across the industry right to their desks.
Martha, why are so many advisors beginning to take a second look at variable annuities to complement their retirement planning tool sets?
Well, I have a lot of opinions about variable annuities, but first of all, what we're discussing today, tax planning. I think more and more we're seeing advisors shift their thinking to favor annuities because of the tax benefits and the guarantees that they provide. The investment grows tax deferred. When the gains come out, they're taxed as ordinary income. And assuming you're using this income to fund retirement, it's likely a time when clients may be in a lower tax bracket. Once you've spent all your gains, your corpus comes back to you tax-free. Another reason I think people would consider using variable annuities in their retirement planning tool sets is investment and guarantee flexibilities. Right? There are a lot of great guarantee options for clients to take advantage of, whether that be in a living benefit guarantee or a death benefit guarantee when you're using an annuity as part of your retirement plan. There's often a wide variety of sub-accounts for clients to choose from that can, be chosen based on their plans and their risk tolerance. And again, furthermore, it does grow tax deferred. And so if you're using non-qualified money in there, a client can move between the sub-accounts as their needs change or as the market shifts. And getting back to non-qualified money in an annuity, I think painting with a broad brush, it tends to be for longer term planning. But unlike mutual funds, clients can't touch it until they're 59 and a half. And this can help manage the client's behavior. Because sometimes clients, or we all, make emotional decisions when the market is experiencing short-term volatility. I think many of us are familiar with the annual Dalbar study, which is a study of investor behavior, amongst other things. But their 2021 study quoted that the 20 years leading up to the end of 2021, the average of the S&P was at 7.47%. But the average stock fund investor achieved only 5.56%. Clients can be their own worst enemy if they become too emotional in a down market and jump in or out of the market at the wrong time. The fact that clients can't withdraw money from a VA until they're 59 and a half can help manage those emotions. And then again, getting back to the guarantees available in a VA can also help tamper those emotions, knowing that there's some certainty to that particular investment.
Martha, I want to change gears here just slightly. How important is the ability to improve clients' peace of mind as advisors work to attract and retain clients?
That's a great question. In order to understand, I think, how to provide peace of mind, I think advisors need to identify places where clients might become uneasy and solve for that uncertainty. So I think we talked about this a little already, but a common worry for clients is that they're going to outlive their money. Maybe they worry that they haven't saved enough for the lifestyle they want, or maybe they worry that they might develop a health issue in retirement and worry about the cost of healthcare overwhelming their plan. As mentioned before, a great way to solve for this uncertainty is using a variable annuity and purchasing an optional GLWB rider that provides lifetime income benefits. We're seeing less and less pensions available to clients who are approaching retirement, and Social Security, might not cover all of the fixed and variable expenses in retirement. So, it's important for advisors to discuss other guaranteed solutions that can help bridge the income gap that a client could experience. Another worry is just what we've been talking about, really, is the uncertainty of taxes. Advisors that understand how taxes have looked in the past and how they will potentially look tomorrow will be a big part of the peace of mind that an advisor can work to provide to their client. Thinking about, your original question though, like how important is the peace of mind? I think once you identify the uncertainties that could cause people to not have peace of mind and you solve for that, a client that does have good peace of mind, it's probably an indication that they now trust the advisor. And once they trust the advisor, of course, they're going to listen more intently when the advisor has recommendations. They'll be more willing to refer friends and family to their advisor. And I think this is really critical too, that, if a client is working with more than one advisor, which often they are, and they start considering consolidating their assets, they're more likely to look at the advisor who is providing the most peace of mind than any of the other advisors they might be working with.
Martha, let me ask you this. Do sophisticated strategic tax capabilities make a difference for advisors looking to move up market?
Oh, absolutely. That definitely makes a difference. The more wealth a client has, the higher the likelihood that they'll need more tax planning, right? And if an advisor wants to grow the number of high net worth clients they're working with, they have to have an understanding of how they can leverage tax efficient strategies to complement the other products in their clients' portfolios. This understanding of sophisticated tax strategies provide tangible value, really, to a high net worth client. And again, having a network of tax professionals that you trust and collaborate with will be critical to make sure the clients are getting the right advice. The advisors can at that point kind of be a quarterback, really, of the financial plan, coordinating these efforts for clients and making their lives easier. This can be a big differentiator when trying to work with high net worth clients.
Martha, thank you so much for spending time with me today and answering all these questions. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. And of course, our last thank you goes to the listening audience. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Success Zone podcast from wealthmanagement.com and WMRE. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when we come out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. Do yourself a favor and share this podcast with people in your office so you can all learn together. Again, thanks for listening today. For everyone at wealthmanagement.com and WMRE, this is Eric Johnson reminding you that when you listen, learn, and grow, you'll find yourself in the success zone, which I think you'll agree is a great place to be. And we'll see you next time.
The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guests and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of wealthmanagement.com and WMRE. The mere appearance of content on the site does not constitute an endorsement by wealthmanagement.com or WMRE. The content has been made available for information and educational purposes only. Wealthmanagement.com and WMRE do not make any representation or warranties with respect to accuracy, applicability, fitness, or completeness of the content or of any sites listed or linked to the content. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.
Martha Hart is a registered representative of Investment Distributors Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA, and wholly owned subsidiary of Protective Life Corporation.